Chapter 11. McClinton Middle School ain't the kind of place where you want the lunch ladies mad at you, no matter how bad the food looks or smells. You best keep your mouth shut. If you don't, you could end up with hair in your spaghetti, pencil shavings in your pizza, pepper in your milk. But something's got into Charlize today. She acts like them lunch ladies won't cause her no trouble. When she goes through the line, she says the hamburgers look like burnt dog doo-doo. Miss Brown, the lunch lady who's serving, don't say nothing. She just clears her throat and runs her hands through her short gray hair. By the time Charlie gets out of line, there it is. Lettuce in her milk, dried up food on her fork, something indescribable on her hamburger bun. Me and her can't figure out what it is, but we think it used to be alive. I bring my own lunch from home. I tell Char she can have it. Today I got a bologna sandwich. Char don't want no part of it. She slams her lunch tray down on the table. The whole place gets quiet. They better give me some decent food, she yells loud enough for all the lunch ladies to hear. Miss Brown just keeps stirring peas and wiping sweat. Move out of my way, Char says to a girl sitting at the table. She don't even give the girl a chance to move before she flicks a handful of them greasy, raw, hard peas in her face, then dares her to say something about it. The girl knows what's good for her. She wipes the slimy pea juice off her chin and moves on. Serves you right, Char says, drying her wet hands on my backpack. Next time, she'll get out of my way before I ask. They're going to give me what I paid for, Char says. She shoves her lunch tray at me so fast it almost slides off the table. Take it bite, Malika. Tell him I want another plate now. I look at Charlize like she's crazy. They won't take it from me. You know that, Char, I say in a dry, shaky voice. Charlize doesn't say nothing at first. She just stares at me without blinking for the longest time. Do I have to jack you up right here in front of everybody? She asks, slapping one of the twins five. I say, you could have my bologna sandwich, I say. But Char turns to me with her hands on her hips and a face that says, I know you ain't talking to me. I don't have no choice. I pick up her tray and get back in line. Seems like it's 20 kids are in front of me. By the time I get to Miss Brown again, my stomach is growling. Miss Brown ain't smiling one little bit when she sees Char's tray. I tell her what the problem is. She says she'll take back the food, only not from me. Char starts yelling at me from way back in the lunchroom. Everybody can hear her. A teacher tells her to shut up, but Char but the teacher can't make Char's eyes stop digging into me. Miss Brown cuts me a break and starts throwing the old food in the trash. I stop her when she gets to the hamburger bun with that stuff on top. Leave it, I say quietly. She looks like she wants to say something else. Then she waves her hand at me. Look at the kid in line after me and says, next. Char's yelling, hurry up, Malika. I take the tray with the same old hamburger bun on it over to the side of the cafeteria where the ketchup and mustard packs are. I scrape the yolk off the top of the bun and smear it on top of Char's hamburger. Then I squeeze ketchup and mustard on the meat and take the whole thing to Char. Char snatches the tray out of my hand. She opens up the hamburger bun and picks up the meat. She puts it to her nose and sniffs it like she does all of her food. Then she drops the hamburger back on the bun and covers it with the other piece of bread. What? You think she spit in it? Raina asked. Please, just eat so we can go. Char laughs and takes a big bite. Get lost, Malika, she says with her mouth full. I don't ask no questions. I pick up my lunch bag and head for another table with a big grin on my face. Desda is over in the corner by herself, so I go and sit with her. Soon as I get there, my sandwich falls out of the paper bag and onto the floor. Mama loves salad oil. She thinks it's good for your heart. Sometimes, like today, she gets a little heavy handed with it, and it leaks all over the place. Desda leans down and picks up my sandwich and hands it to me. I wipe off the cellophane with a tissue, unwrap it, and start eating. While my mouth is stuffed with bologna and bread, Caleb comes over and starts telling me how good I look. Oil is oozing out the sides of my mouth as quick as I can wipe it off. Caleb don't seem to notice. He just keeps right on talking. I need to talk to you, Malika, he says, taking a napkin and wiping some oil off my chin. I tell Caleb I've got to talk to him some other time, that me and Desda are going over homework right now. He says he'll talk to me later and heads out of the lunchroom. Charlize stops him before he goes. She's all up in his face. He doesn't pay her no mind. He just keeps on stepping. Sometimes I can't help but wonder if Charlize wants Caleb because she knows he wants me. Desna acts like I really meant what I said about her and me doing homework. She started asking me if I've done my math homework, which I haven't, of course. But that don't stop Desda. She pulls out the homework anyhow and asks me 10,000 questions about the math problems. They are as easy as pie, and I tell her so. Before I know it, I'm doing the work for her. If the homework's so easy, why didn't you do it last night? She wants to know. Don't go there, I say. I worked on them problems for 3 hours straight, Desda says, stuffing chips in her mouth. After that, I finally gave up and started watching TV. Desda's homework paper starts to spot from her greasy fingers. 20 minutes later, we head for the door. Char's still sitting at the front of the cafeteria. Boys are crowded around, so that all you can see is them purple shoes of hers and that tight black designer skirt. When she stands up to leave, one boy puts his arm around her waist and whispers something in her ear. She laughs, but you can tell she's faking it. She puts on her sunglasses and walks toward the door with them boys following her like she's a movie star. Before she leaves, she looks over my way and pulls her sunglasses down past her nose, so they're leaning on her top lip. She stares me down, then whispers something to one of the twins and keeps on stepping. I ignore her. Ignore her, Desda says. The next thing I know, Ray's is coming my way. Star wants to know if you've done her math. I reach in my book bag and pull out some papers. Char and them are in different math classes than me. It's a class for kids who don't have a clue what's going on. I hand the homework to Rage. I didn't have time to do the social studies, I say, lying through my teeth. The social studies paper is still in my bag. It's the first time I don't give Char what she asked for. Did you do mine and my sister's? Ray's wants to know. I hand the other math papers to her. As we leave the lunchroom, Desda says, I shouldn't do nothing for them. Yeah, right, I say. Chapter 12. The next day, I'm waiting in the bathroom. Seems like forever. No Char. She's punishing me for getting out of my place yesterday, I guess. When Char says come, you come. When she says do this for me, you do it, or else bad stuff happens. I didn't give Char her social studies homework yesterday, so no clothes for me today. Now, I gotta go to class, and Mama's things are where the clothes Char gave me yesterday. I got them here in my backpack. They're folded small as a bag of bread. They're wrinkled worse than Caleb's grandmama face. So I don't have much choice, so I keep on my own clothes. I stretch my arms toward the mirror. Not bad. Sleeves is even. Button sewed on straight. The seam down the shirt sleeve is crooked is all. Could be worse. I'm thinking maybe I'll skip class. Miss Saunders gave me this here book the other day, Life of a Slave Girl. It's called. She said maybe it would help me with my writing. I've already read it twice. I stayed up all night reading it 2 days ago. I read it with a flashlight under the covers so Mama wouldn't holler. The book made me cry. It made me think about Akima and what was waiting for her once the boat docked. While I was still deciding if I'm going to skip class, I tell myself that I'm only going to read Life of a Slave Girl for 5 minutes. The next thing I know, the late bell is ringing. I'm shoving that book in my book bag and running down the hall. Walk, Miss Madison, a teacher says to me, and pick up that paper you just dropped. Good thing nobody sees what. is on my paper. It's another one of those Akima letters. Dear Diary, when you are hungry and really hungry, even mush crawling with maggots tastes good. So I can't help licking my lips when that girl put the last fingerful of my food in her mouth. A thief, that one is. Yesterday I grabbed her hands and tried to take back what was mine. It fell to the floor and someone else scooped it up. She is a lion who cares for no one but herself. Akima. I'm almost to Miss Saunders' room when John McIntyre starts up with me again. New clothes, huh? He says, trying to be smart. I stop walking and turn to him and ask, real smart like, why you always picking on me? I ain't sure what's come over me. I guess thinking about Akima makes me wonder why people treat others like they're nothing. Chill, Malika, John says, strutting down the hall alongside me. He gets quiet and I hear his big sneakers squeaking every time they hit the floor. Then I say something that surprised both of us. Why me? He knows what I'm asking. He keeps on stepping. Why do you hate me? I ask, looking right at John. His cheek twitches. You bugging, girl, he says. I look at him like he's crazy. John's been hating me all my life, it seems. Now he's standing here denying it. I don't think nothing about you, he says, jerking up his pants. Seem like nobody's in the halls but me and John. Only there's plenty of kids around, pushing and shoving one another out of the way. The teachers are trying their best to move all kids along, but it ain't working so good. That song you sing about me ain't right, John, I say. It just ain't right. So what? You ain't all that, you know? All what? I want to ask. But John don't give me a chance. He says I got what I deserve on the bus that day. He says since the first time he met me, I acted like I was better than him. I'm looking at John like I ain't never seen him before. Better than him? When I do that? He says something stupid crazy. Says it was back in second grade when I first moved to the Heights. I walked into class that first day with my new pink polka dotted dress on and black patent leather shoes. The teacher told me to sit in the desk next to his. I said I didn't want to. I wanted to sit in the one up front next to Kayla. That half white punk, John says, knowing full well Kayla ain't mixed. Now my mouth's hanging open. I didn't even know Kayla back then, I said. I wanted to sit up front because I couldn't see the board, I explained. Looking at John, I tell him, you hated me all these years for something I didn't even do. No matter, he says, you've given me plenty of reasons not to like you since then, thinking you super smart, acting like you too good for me. I tell John how things really is. I'm failing all my classes, charged on my case all the time, got a bar of clothes that look like somebody. Good, John says. You always thought you was better than me. Now look at you. You just as bad off as the rest of us. Worse, maybe. Caleb don't want no part of you now, I bet. Now John's bobbing his head up and down, laughing like this whole thing is funny. John looks at me like I'm dirt or something. I swallow hard. I think about what Daddy once said about not seeing yourself with other people's eyes. I keep on stepping. When I open the door to Miss Saunders' room, John's right behind me. For once, Miss Saunders not getting on my case about being late. Then it hits me. John McIntyre is jealous of me. But why? I sit there for about 5 minutes trying to figure out this thing with John before I notice Miss Saunders ain't here. It's seeing Worm with his narrow butt parked on Daphne's desk that makes me know something's not right. When I look up front, nobody's there but two kids drawing on the board. I guess Miss Saunders is sick. All right, a substitute, I say. No work today. Before I can even smile good about it, Miss Saunders comes flying into the room. Sorry I'm late, she says, all out of breath. I'm sorry you're here, I whisper.